Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 17 Scooters Club. I'm Olivia.
I'm Kate, but I feel like I froze as soon as we hit record. Here we go.
I thought she froze as soon as I said I'm Olivia. Ooh, cheers. Coffee.
Cheers. We have coffee. If you're watching, podcast
It's
supporting other podcasts, I'm going to go see camp counselors Zachariah Porter and Jonathan in the city tonight. So that's why
actually, so this is the first podcast we're recording since I've physically seen your house.
Oh.
And I'm just thinking that this little area that you're recording in is like the perfect recording area. Like, don't you have a window right in front of you?
I have a window.
So you get the natural lighting.
Although we do have John's newest decor.
I do see that your hair curls are kind of covering that up, but the rest is giving like camp counselor vibes.
Counselors. Yes, yeah. You just wait until we paint the wall, we fix the ceiling, and we get a new beam. It's going to be real campy. But that was my vibe I was going for anyway.
Well, we're campy too because we're living in a trailer.
Your trailer fancy. Your trailer's 10 times nicer than my house.
It's all good. It's so foggy and spooky out, and it's been this way for like a couple of days, and I love it.
Yeah. Is it like a ocean thing rolling in? It
like that, but we're like up on a hill, and the ocean's down, not on a hill. Cool. And usually it like will dissipate, and we're gonna be sunny, and the ocean's not. And so it's like, oh, come on, I just want some clouds. But today, we actually got the clouds, so it's fun.
Real cloudy.
It's real cloudy.
Nice.
I'm also tired. I'm just waking up because it's 8 here and it's 11 near Katie, so.
Yes. Although I took today to sleep in, I've been getting up, obviously, for work every morning, and then I horseback ride on Saturdays. So I went riding yesterday morning, and I have to be at the barn at 7:30 to catch my horse.
Oh, no.
So then this morning I was like, I had every intention to get up and go do something, but then I actually slept in, and then I was like, oh shoot, I have to shower, wash my hair, and Dyson my hair. And then I ended right at like 10:59, and I was like, yes.
Do you use bobby pins? To put them in their little pin curls?
I have banana clips somewhere, but I dislike them because if you can see, this little clippy part gets caught, like the part that you squeeze. It gets caught in my hair. So I've slowly been throwing them away as they make me mad. So half of my hair right now is bobby pins because they're just easier to use. And the other half, like when I pull this out.
I hate that too, though, because those are supposed to be like, all the influencers are using them. They're so cute. Like everybody's using them. And I thought that's what that little piece of like plastic was for, but it's not. It's not. So it doesn't get like a little line. And I'm like, why don't we have like a piece of fabric that's like this in like the little part so it doesn't get caught?
It protects like this stupid piece because it hurts.
Yeah, it does. And it like then I get angry because I'm like, you're damaging my hair.
And it ruins the curl. I worked really hard for the curl, and then I'm pulling it out.
Yeah. Anyways, do you want to go first today?
I do. So I have two smaller topics.
Oh, we could do a sandwich.
Yeah, okay. I want you to pick, though. Tony's over here smacking the door. I want you to pick, though. So one is in the spirit of spooky season, even though we're a little late with that.
Spooky season.
And the second one is like, it's a real topic, but I'm working my way trying to understand this topic in my real life. And so I brought a piece of paper to draw you how I'm understanding it. And then I want you to tell me how you're understanding it. And then I'm going to further research and follow up on another episode because my brain just can't wrap myself around it.
That sounds like the closer.
Okay.
That one sounds like the grand finale.
Okay. So we'll start with, in the spirit of spooky season, as you guys know, we were getting crazy. The girls Liv and Nat came and visited me here. So even though this is November, this is a spooky story. So for those of you who don't know, our family on our dad's side is very spooky. They love ghost stories. They are like one with ghosts. They have stories of like meeting ghosts and the devil and all these crazy things, which they wholeheartedly believe in. So I'm going to wholeheartedly believe in it. So I asked our aunt for stories, and she says, "Oh my gosh, I have tons of stories from Grandpa." And she's working on actually going back through a book that Grandpa had, and she's typing them out and sending them to me.
I want
So,
that book.
yeah, I know. So I was like, maybe I'll keep. She's sending them in like PDF format. So I was like, maybe I'll keep all of
Oh
these and
my
like
goodness.
whatever it is. So
Even like a
I
family book, like
a
just to like
family
make
ghost
one.
story book.
Well, not even to like publish or anything. Just like, do you know how people make books for their
Mhm.
coffee tables? Like, in just like one of them? That would be so cool.
You probably can't see it because it's too far away behind me, but underneath Mom's duck right there, there's a haunted history of America. And that's kind of what I'm picturing, like a book, not to
Yeah.
publish, but like if we made like a coffee table book to then just keep, and then that'd be like
Hmm.
a talking piece, like, oh, what book is this?
Haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's actually a family haunted story. Okay, so this is the first one that she wanted to send in, and I think it's appropriate because it's kind of short. It's in California. So Liv, do you know where
Ooh,
the Jamestown Hotel is? It's in Jamestown, California. We should look at this to see
Jamestown. I'm
where
Googling right now to see if it's close to me or not.
James. I don't know if it's still there, but
I do know that um, our aunt lived in San Francisco. So, and
uh,
that's 3 hours from me. So she is
oh, I see.
Jamestown.
It's kind of it's inland from San Francisco. It's by Yosemite, actually, right below
Okay.
Tahoe. So kind of in the John.
Oh, it pulled me to like, well, I don't even know what state that is. North Dakota,
Oh
Jamestown,
no, it's like
California.
southeast of Sacramento. It's kind of where John's from.
Okay.
It's north.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think I might have driven through there to, yeah, because it's on the way to Tahoe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And this is so funny, just a side note. So I went back to John's house, like his home back there, and everything is like old timey gold mining. I'm going to say themed, but literally like gold mining or like logging. So like they live
Hmm.
on like a 5 mile road where it's not plowed. You have to drive like either a snowmobile in the winter or a quad, like to get up there. Everything, like there's so many mines. We went to some cool like gold mines, like it's an old timey Western, like kind of mining town. So
Yeah.
that's the vibe we're dealing with here.
That's pretty cool. People don't think about that when they think of California, but there's a lot
No.
of that.
Oh yeah. So here we go. Oh, is this a picture of it?
I
Oh
just,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So
that's pretty
this
cool.
is very similar. Like his hometown has like 3 buildings, and this is like exactly what it looks like. Okay. So this is the Jamestown Hotel in 1991. So not that long ago. So it was the summer of 1991 when my parents, so that would be grandma, grandpa, husband, I think Marshall, and baby, so I'm assuming Reese, and I were at the historic Gold Rush era Jamestown Hotel in Jamestown, California. This hotel is noted to be haunted with paranormal activity. We did not know that at the time, seeing only as it was a historic beauty. In fact, in 2024, the Ghost Adventures TV series actually filmed an episode suggesting a strong paranormal reputation. Well, let me tell you about our actual experience 33 years prior to that show. So after dinner one night, we all retired to this quaint little tavern within the hotel. And I could totally picture all of them doing that with like a drink, with a
Oh,
drink.
yeah.
Dad, so we're talking about grandpa, Dad was telling ghost stories to a small audience of fellow guests, which is like so on brand for grandpa.
Hmm.
Everyone was mesmerized and enjoying his narrative. It was time for baby Reese to go to bed, so I left the group and I headed with him up the stairs. Halfway up the stairs, I was stopped abruptly. Something was negative in front of me. I was not going to continue. I retreated to the tavern to go get my reinforcements. Um, my husband, parents, baby, and I went back to the staircase and started to go up. Halfway up the stairs, all of a sudden, I felt that same bad presence again. We all continued to the top of the stairs, wondering what had happened. This was just the beginning. Our room was adjacent to what the hotel claimed to be the most haunted one in the hotel, of course. Supposedly, someone died in there. Lights out, baby in the crib, husband and I asleep. During the night, I woke up sensing someone in my room. I awoke, I saw no one, and then I jumped to check my baby. I knew something had been there and did not sleep the rest of the night. In the morning, I was sitting on the second floor outdoor porch feeding my baby. I had an overwhelming feeling that something was sitting next to me. That's terrifying. Something was sitting next to me. Don't mess with Mother Bear, as I recall. I was told that a woman was haunting the hotel and hated men. To this day, my husband at the time states that he felt nervous the entire stay. He also felt the negative energy and he hardly slept. That's it for the beautiful Jamestown Hotel. It's no longer opened, but it was open, but it was a wonderful historic landmark.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the feelings. Not to make it about me, but whenever I'm driving home, there's like one corner in the road where I've even tried to talk to Natalie about this. I'm like, do you ever get a feeling that like someone's in your car? And she's like, no. And I'm like, there's one part of the road every time I'm driving home at night. And like I'll be listening to like a lighthearted podcast. I'll be listening to like Taylor Swift. Like there's no reason I should be spooked. I automatically get like this creeped out feeling that like I'm being watched from inside my car.
Is there a cemetery near there?
Not officially. It's like, it's farmland. It's probably all like Native American burial grounds because it's like, it's overlooking the water. Like Shumash was really big here. They for sure settled all throughout this area. And like, it's up on the top of a mountain with a view of the water. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a important place.
Like a burial place.
But yeah, I don't really want to look into it because I drive home at like 3 a.m. A few nights a week. So I will be creeped out. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting and more so cool that our family has all of these stories that they wrote down. Like, I feel like that is like the 1970s, 80s, 90s version of what we're doing now. Like when we talk about our dreams and we talk about our like paranormal experiences, that they did the same thing, but they wrote it all down, which is so cool.
That goes to show that it's like witchy in our family. We all have these witchy experiences. So speaking of a Native American burial ground and such, mine goes into, it starts with a message I sent to myself on Instagram. And I'll always be scrolling through and find something and be like, oh, this is great for the pod. And I love doing that because then it's kind of like a modern day thing that everybody has seen. So here it is. It goes, I'm going to play a video with some audio.
Woken up to some disturbing sound all through the whole area. I just called 911 and they said they've gotten like over 50 calls about it.
I'll send you the video too when this is done.
Tony does not like it. Keep that.
Redstone. These are some old Aztec sands.
Okay, then this is just kind of somebody going over it. So that is the noise that people like. I'll go back. I'll just go start into there.
Okay.
So you're camping near Lake Mead. It's only 2 a.m. Oh, Keely just got back from Lake Mead. Our friend just
so familiar.
I'm like, it's in Utah. Anyways, you're camping near Lake Mead. It's 2 a.m. The ground vibrates. A deep metallic groan rolls through the red rock canyons of Redstone. What just happened? Basically, multiple posts and local pickups reported thunderous metallic groaning. Noises near the Redstone picnic area between Lake Mead and Las Vegas. Some claimed 50-plus calls to police dispatch that night. Clips circulated all over, and that's how I found it. Basically, it's been talked about on a bunch of different podcasts already, and the what's it called? Redstone is a real day use spot in North Shore Road. It helps. What's it called? It's like remote with a bunch of sandstone. Like it's just a lot of nothing around there. Nobody has spoken out and said what it is yet, but there's a bunch of different, just like a lot of different theories.
Before you go into any theories, do you have one?
I don't. When I hear that, I just think construction, but it also sounds massive. Like you hear that noise as construction at your neighbors, and it's like annoying, but it's not like everywhere. That was so weird because it sounds like it's coming from all directions, and people were saying it's coming from the rocks.
My
They're like the
immediate
rocks.
thought is like, remember that episode you did on the people or like the aliens that were like in their pods or whatever, and then they were, I forget for how long, and they're in there for a long
Oh
time,
my
and then they're
God.
coming out. And we've been talking about aliens, like, and then the pyramids with like everyone living under the ground, and right. My first thought is like, are the aliens or the pods or whoever's living under the ground or like
They're
the
hatching.
government? They have something there, and now that's actually like people are hearing it.
I wonder, I should look up, is Lake Mead known for government testing?
I mean, look.
I just wrote testing. That is a theory. A lot of them that I just got like the most basic theories, and I didn't really go into, but yes, documented instances of government military testing in the area around Make-Lead. But the nature of the testing varies, and it's not entirely like known, obviously. There is a emergency Jetson area north of Lake Mead where the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marines from 1953 to 1956 used for training, including
Explosive
practicing
hazard.
bombs. Yep. Facility called Lake Mead Base. Oh, so Area 2. Just the fact that there's an area. Like Area 51 is known for being creepy. Oh, okay. Nevada test site uses tests for nuclear weapons. What if like the mountains are, the land is fighting back over that?
I kind of like that. They're like, this is a peaceful campground. Stop ruining us, and definitely polluting with all of that.
Yeah. So I'm going to read, I think I'll go to up here first. So the small little, I have so many notes. One of them is aircraft military activity, which we spoke about. It says low-flying jets, occasional sonic booms that echo off canyon walls, but nothing. There has been no advisory specifically tied to this event. So if there is going to be explosives, which is what it sounds like the most to me, is just like massive, you're in mountains, it's going to echo and echo and echo, especially if something's that loud, it's just going to keep echoing. And that is sort of what that sounds like something monstrous echoing, but that's something that would have been given a warning about. And
Yes.
so there are no warnings given. And I live by a military base, so does Natalie. Natalie works on a military base. Low-flying jets happen all the time. That's not a low-flying jet. I know what that sounds like. So this is blasting construction carryover. Again, it sounds like, yeah, you could be doing blasting, but also no. Like, it wouldn't, a explosion wouldn't make that like everywhere all at once sound.
It would be like one.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
also you would see people, like you would see construction workers blasting things.
And you would be that would happen online. People would be like, yeah, that was us. We were doing construction at 2 a.m. Like, why were you doing construction at 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
Next idea is a skyquake / atmospheric deduction. Basically, they call it a documented phenomenon where distant thunder explosions or booms refract and arrive in an eerie sky origin sound, often near coasts or lakes. Which this just sounds like thunder to me, like heat lightning.
Like thunder echoing by the lake.
Yeah, thunder echoing by the lake. And
I never heard of that one.
I never heard of that one either. It just doesn't sound very... I mean, the fact that it's coming from the sky, that does sound like it could make that everywhere all at once type of sound. However, people were describing it coming from the mountains. Now, if it was coming from the sky echoing off the mountains, that's a thing. Like, it's hard to figure out where echo starts unless you're like
Really
reporting
didn't
it
sound
on
like thunder.
seismic.
Think about the thunder.
No.
Like that sounded like something like shaking.
It did. It sounded like, honestly, the imagery that I picture with it is this big red rock slowly like turning into a giant,
Yes,
like
like something coming out of it.
breaking free. Like, I would be so scared to be camping out there and then that happening and being like, am I gonna fall through the rocks right now?
Yeah.
So a microseismic earthquake boom. Now, this again, that sounds like something breaking free, turning into a giant. The ground
transformer.
breaking, the ground literally moving, seismic activity. That is what I would think it would be. However, there's been no, like, you'll get especially out west, we'll get like notifications that there's been an earthquake, and I'm like, huh, I didn't feel that. Like, so even if there's something that was making that type of noise, people would have notifications and be like, oh, look at what this earthquake, like the sound that this earthquake just made. So it's just weird, like, that there's no nobody's claimed it yet. Nobody's even like said. Some spicier conspiracies to speak of is there's secret tunneling under the Hoover Dam.
I could get behind that one.
Yeah. There is no evidence of this, but it's just an idea. Area 51 backups tests extending south. Again, we spoke about that. Military. Area 51 is military. Now this, I thought about your drilling girl, your girl that's digging deep. What's her name again?
Kala.
I'm like, it just reminds me of the sound it would make if you were doing stuff underneath the lake. And so legends say that there are subterranean caverns and creatures down under there. And
Wait,
yeah.
That kind of ties into, like I said at 1st, remember way back with the pyramids, they found that there was like allegedly all these tunnels, like miles and miles of tunnels, and it's underneath a body of water that's actually underwater. So maybe, and that's the same, I'm assuming, ish kind of terrain, like dry, sandy, rocky. So maybe that's a pattern that we're seeing. Maybe under dry, sandy, rocky, like deserted kind of areas, there's something with the water, something with the tunnels, something down there. That's mine.
Yeah. Okay. I literally was just scrolling on when I was looking at my notes for Native American. And yeah, do you know how we were talking about water, like cities that have been put underwater? We've spoken about that multiple times. I think we spoke about that near home, like how one of the reservoirs is underwater. Yeah. Yep. So the Native Americans, there is a city called the Lost City that is now under Lake Mead. Area now under Lake Mead and surrounding lands was occupied by desert Indian cultures as far back as 8,000 to 10,000 years ago. People hunted large animals, gathered plants, made tools. There is a well-studied site called Pueblo Grande de Nevada, also known as Lost City, in the lower Muddy River Valley, now partly submerged, impacted by Lake Mead, that shows a house and a Pueblo settlement. The region was subsequently occupied by groups such as Southern, I was doing well until now, Pout and Chemshuevi and others, pre-contact, and then with Euro-American settlements. So very heavily, as out there I usually typically assume, but yeah, really heavily occupied by the Native Americans.
Maybe their gods are coming back, or they're like, I don't know what would trigger it now, but maybe they're pissed. They're like, okay, well, we had the settlement. Number one, you freaking flooded it and kicked us out. Number two, now you're doing military testing here.
Right? It's like,
this
now you're
home. Like, what?
Not only do you take away our home, but now you're like actually ruining it. So yeah, if you guys have heard of anything, I hate leaving things on a unended note, but if there's any definite or any more news on this, I will come back and tell you about it. Winston's being a little pest over here. Yeah, that's all I have. But I think that noise was crazy. I don't think I've heard anything like it. Is there I'm kind of leaning towards things happening under the lake, like I don't know, aliens waking up or them drilling or just something happening underneath. It just doesn't make sense to me that it would be happening at 2 a.m.
Yes, like I think construction is out. We would see it. They would report it after everything is online. People would say, "Oh no, like it was an ordinance. Like you didn't know that the county was doing blah 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 blah." I think you're right. I think it's something with the water. I think it's tunnels underneath, and I think 2 a.m. is not a coincidence. I think whatever is happening down there, they just assumed like, oh, maybe people aren't. It didn't happen during the day when people are hiking around, exploring, taking pictures, videos.
Also, I feel like Area 51 is so known for being the spooky spot that they would have to move like what they're doing somewhere else, like all the Area 51 activity to a different area, but probably close by, so they're not transporting it across the entire United States. And Lake Mead would be that perfect spot. Like there's probably some shady stuff going on. Maybe it's like aliens. Maybe aliens are underneath and
We need to
in
ask
the ground.
our friend who was just there. Like maybe we could put together. Look at my scratches. We could put together some interview questions. It's just for my nails. Some interview questions and ask her and like get a little report because she's there all the time. And also she's in the water at Lake Mead all the time.
That's creepy. I could not like I remember realizing and finding out that like there were such things as like flooding a lake. Like why can't we just have like a natural lake? I guess like most of ours are like glaciers near us, like up north, so like it's creepy to have like a man-made lake, especially over a city and city ruins, and like to swim in it. Like come on, what if you jump and you get stabbed by something?
You would love, there's this creator on TikTok, I don't know her name, but if you just search this you would come up. She does Spooky Lake Month, which is October, and she does 31 for 31 days. And she comes up with 31 lakes, and she actually lives on a spooky lake. That's what it encouraged this. And she goes through, it's like a minute clip, and she'll like do pictures and this and that, and it's like mind blowing, the crazy things. And that makes me like, we grew up being lake people. Like we have a cabin on a lake in the Adirondacks. That's fine. I like
the
that
ghost
lake.
Train.
I've seen the bottom of that lake. It's okay. These lakes,
it's not man-made.
No, it's a glacial lake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, so Lake Mead is the largest man-made reservoir in the United States, formed by the construction of the Hoover Dam. Oh, Lake Mead is the Hoover Dam.
Wait a second.
I did not know that.
Remember, this is not really related, but kind of related. Is Lake Mead a few years ago when there was a drought in, I want to say Vegas or Nevada or wherever, where it was like people were walking on the bed of Lake Mead because it was a drought and the water went down so far, and they were finding all these bodies in barrels from like the mob era time in Vegas. I think that happened a few years ago.
I searched that. It says Lake Mead drying up again. Look what we found.
Yes. Yeah, that was maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah. Mob findings. Bringing it to you in real time. Ooh. Lake Mead's drought-induced low water levels have exposed a significant number of previously submerged human remains, leading to a series of discoveries and potential mob-related cold cases.
Yes.
The most prominent find was a body in a barrel, believed to have been dumped between 1970s and 1980s and killed by a gunshot wound, possibly linked to the mob. The receding waters have also revealed artifacts from the submerged town of St. Thomas, Nevada, providing historical context evidence of past life in the area. So, also, like, how rude. Can you imagine flooding a city and there's, like, I don't know, what's it called? There's cemeteries in a city people gotta bury, and they're probably not burying them too deep down, especially for, like, submerging with water. Like, those bodies are gonna come out and just, like...
They're finding them now.
Yeah. That's creepy. Artifacts. I'm just saying they're finding artifacts. Okay. The bodies are really what's getting me.
Yeah.
Wild.
Well,
Leaving it on a cliffhanger here.
mine's kind of a cliffhanger too. So
It's the cliffhanger episode.
this is like getting you your thinking. So if you guys have anything to add to Liv's topic there, if you know anything about Lake Mead, and we will ask our friend. Let's write that down so we can ask her. Has she heard anything? I mean, I don't know. She hangs out with people.
Do you hear the rocks screaming at night?
Do you hear the rocks?
Don't they live on Lake Mead?
Yeah, her friends have a boat. That's how she's always there. So her friends have a boat. So I wonder if the friends know any like local info.
Yeah. I wonder if they heard it.
Yes. Get the date. Anyway. All right. Are you guys ready to switch gears? You need to turn your brains on. You need to have another cup of espresso, because this is something that I've been thinking about in my everyday life, and I need you to help me understand it / we're working through it. Okay. So this all came about because when you're thinking about the idea of manifesting, thinking about the idea of, when they say like manifesting, they're like, oh, write it down, make it your reality. We kind of did it on August 8th, where we wrote down like all of the stuff that we wanted to happen in the past. Like writing it down has happened, and that has made it happen. And then they say, well, if you want to manifest, it's basically like delusionally believing that something is true. So it's all the idea of that. Like that's all like not new things that we've heard that many, many times before. So then it kind of got me thinking about, because I was seeing videos, I was seeing topics about the idea of like specifically like quantum leaping or timeline changing, because I'm thinking about dreams, because you know how I'm super into my dreams right now. And people are saying, well, that is actually a form of timeline jumping. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like my body's here. How, like, let's break this down. So then with all that in mind, I found one lady who explained it for the most part. And then I've been trying to like think of situations and like practice it in my everyday. So this lady explained it where, think about, there's 3 layers of life, let's say. So your little body, my little body, Tony's little body, Tate's little body, Hassam, everybody, those are the characters, and like in a video game. So I'm thinking back to think about like Shrek was like my favorite video game. There's a player, which we'll get into, but your little body is like a little bot in life, and it's going about whatever. It's like, oh, I'm going to sit down and podcast. Oh, I'm going to go over here to the city. Oh, I'm hungry. I need to refuel. Oh, time to sleep and refuel. Like, right? We have like, it's just the character. But your character, I'm going to draw a picture, but your character is controlled by a consciousness. The consciousness is the player. So this is the character running around life. How this person described it, and this is how I'm thinking about it, your consciousness is not just in your head, which that's how I have always thought about it. Like, think about the pink as my consciousness. Right. Like, your consciousness is in your head, fine, and you're like thinking about, oh, let me go over and make some coffee. Let me go over here. But they're explaining that your consciousness is like, it's not linear.
I'm glad that I got to take like a second break, because now I get to internalize like what you just said and continue. So that makes sense. There's something, and it's reminding me of what's it called? Simulation theory so far.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So we're thinking about your body is, and this kind of plays into reincarnation too, but you're thinking about your body is just a little character. Your body is not doing the thinking. Your body is just a mode of transportation for like the bigger thing, which is your consciousness, which is your thoughts, which is you. And so then something that I've been thinking about is like, okay, how they explained it. Your consciousness is not just in your brain. Your consciousness, it's also not linear. Your consciousness is you. You are not your body, but you are your consciousness. Yours is different than mine, right? We have different likes, dislikes, whatever. So think about your consciousness needs like a mode of transportation to interact with the world. like, because it's floating around. I don't even know what it looks like. It looks like particles in the air, whatever. So that's why you're in your body. So your consciousness uses your body as a way to interact with the world. Your body starts as a baby, right? And it grows and it grows and it grows and it gets old. It's linear. It changes, right? Like you think about, like I'm thinking about a random time, like let's say 5 years ago at my old house with my ex-husband, right? Just think about, pick something like years ago, like pinpoint a conversation, I don't know, it could be something happy, could be something sad, whatever. Your body looks different, right? You look younger, maybe your hair is different, maybe the situation is different, but your consciousness, like if you're thinking about your thinking, like my consciousness has been the same since as long as I can remember, right? No matter where I am today or wherever, it's just using my body, which is aging, sadly, as a mode of, whatever. And that's how you use it to get what you want. So the idea is that like your body, like time is on a linear scale, but really your consciousness is not. So when you think about it, this is like the idea of reincarnation. Okay, so your consciousness uses your body. Your body is, it's a baby, it grows, it dies. Your consciousness, right, doesn't die. So then it finds itself, I don't know how, in another being, right? So then a graveyard is really just burying like dead bodies because they're of no use anymore. So then if you get back to the idea of quantum, like shifting, quantum leaping, let's talk about like dreaming. When I'm going to mall world, I'm going to work. My body is just a mode of transportation. My body, my character, right? You know how in a video game you need to like run over to the chest and open the chest and like drink some potion to like get whatever. Like sleeping is just that. Like your body needs to sleep so then it can function. So your body literally like blacks out, passes out, but your consciousness that's floating around, this is how I think of consciousness now. It's everywhere, right?
Yes.
Your consciousness goes elsewhere. So that's why in your dreams, like people can control your dreams. That's why you can lucid dream. It's taking you, not your body, but your consciousness that has never changed, that's always going to be, is taking it elsewhere. And so that's why you could go to the mall world. That's why you could lucid dream, because really then you're shifting timelines, because that's really another place. So then they're talking about like the idea of manifesting. Okay, that's what we started with. Let's say I really want this new job. Okay, so then I'm thinking about, like, you have to think, all those rules of manifesting, like think about what you're wearing, think about the situation when they call you, like it has to be here and now and blah, blah, blah. Basically what they're saying is it could be in any situation. You're like shifting. So your consciousness can make that happen, because really it's just your little character. It's just your little player that we want to go to a different spot in the game, right? It's not like whether I'm a CEO of a giant like bank or I am, out here farming my goats. My consciousness is the same. Go ahead.
Basically, the natural analogy that I'm seeing is that lucid dreaming, which is manifesting in your dream state, like manifesting is basically lucid dreaming in your awake state.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So that's essentially, that's the idea of like, okay, your body is really just like the little character. Your consciousness, which is bigger, and it can walk around when you sleep. It can control what your body does here, is the person with the, with the thing. So with the player, what is that called? The game controller. So it controls what it is. So then I was thinking, like, let's go back to the job example. Let's say like whether I'm out here farming my goats and that's like my job or whatever, or whether I'm like a giant millionaire CEO, my body might change, right? I might look different. I might be a different age, but my consciousness is going to be the same. So right? Like, I still am going to think the same things, feel the same things, whatever. So the idea is like, okay, well, if your consciousness is going to be the same, your consciousness can make that happen, because it's just another layer of reality. So if your consciousness exists in every reality, you can just move your little player, your little body, to where you want. And so then that's the idea of manifesting, is like, okay, if I think about it, if I close my eyes, how does it feel? How does it smell? How does it look? How do I feel? What's the situation? who's all involved, like very particular, you're like priming you're like essentially telling your consciousness, or your consciousness is telling itself, okay, let's move the little body over here, a little player. And right, that's as far as I've gotten. There's a third layer, which is like creating everything, like creating your reality, but my brain can't go there yet. I'm still working
Okay.
on player and consciousness.
I will say this is making me feel a little better about the like simulation theory, because
Mhm.
before, like, when I think of simulation theory, I think of us being on a little planet and then these like bigger beings being like, haha, you do all of this, like you live your little life, and it's providing like something, like we're providing power, like our energies providing power so they could turn their own lights on or like run their spaceships or something. And it's like very, very ill-intended in my head. But like the fact that, and we're going to go somewhere else right now, is that I've been listening to a lot of things where it's like your consciousness happens all at once, like everything is happening all at once, and a time frame is just like a made up construct because our bodies are getting older. But
Mhm.
like everything's happening all at once, and there's no like, there's no real timeline.
Mhm.
And that makes a lot of sense, because you're right, like what is our consciousness, like, because that's never aging. Of course, like
Exactly.
somebody can explain us a theory and we'll have a new idea, and maybe like they'll change, maybe our minds will change on something, but it's still our consciousness whose mind is changing, you know.
It's just crazy to me to think about, like, think of like, I don't know, some like pinpoint a situation years ago. I just keep going back to, I don't know, a random time at my house when, I don't know, we were talking about a table. Like I wanted to buy a table, we bought a table. And I remember thinking, like a time where you can remember thinking, like, oh, this person is stupid, or like a fight, or when you could think about what you were thinking. Like my consciousness has been the same for as long as I can remember. And like, let's say I got a giant promotion and I was like running a company. My consciousness is the same. Let's say I quit and I say I want to live off grid. My consciousness is going to be the same. So really, it's literally just your little player body being in different situations, but your mind is the same. And like you said, the idea of time only exists because that's the mode of like our bodies. Yes, that we need time to explain things. We're young and then we get old, right? But then the idea of consciousness is always overlapping. And then furthermore, when I think of consciousness, have you ever like heard the idea of like, can someone hear what I'm thinking? Like, have you ever been next to someone and be like thinking about something, like maybe something you don't like about them or whatever, thinking about something else, and you're like, man, like, I hope this person doesn't hear essentially what I'm thinking. I think that people can. Like, you know how you pick up on a vibe? People say, oh, I'm just picking up on the vibes. I think it's our consciousnesses are outside of our bodies. And like when I'm next to you, or maybe not even next to you, but when I'm near you or you're close to someone, right? Your consciousnesses vibe together and you can kind of read each other's ideas, thoughts, feelings, right?
Right, like so they're not, you're not giving specific words to the other person. It's just their consciousness picking up on vibes. And
Yes.
I'm usually, I'm pretty good on picking up on vibes. So like that's a form of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think so.
Like the
Whether that's like intentional or not, like you could, if somebody's just staring at you with a blank face, you could tell like, oh, this is not the vibe. I'm not going to like stand next to her anymore. She's probably thinking, oh, like if my eyes could like drill holes in your head, your brains would be on the ground. Like, that's funny. I think about that, my coworker, like that sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, she definitely knows. Like, she'll
yeah,
do something really dumb, and like she'll be flailing around because she doesn't like, she's not really great at bartending, and like it'll be dead. So there's no reason why she should be running around. So instead of helping her, I just stand there and look at her, like disgust, and I'm like, man, if my eyes could like burn holes through her head, her like her brains would just be guts on the floor. And I'm like, she probably picks up on that vibe. But
yeah,
then I'm like friendly to her face because I get paid to do that. So
yeah. People could definitely pick up on vibes, and then I don't know, and then I don't know. I guess I'll report back later with the third layer because the whole idea is like changing your reality, and before you're able to like be the programmer of the game and literally just be like, I want this in life, I want this in life, I'm going to change my reality, you have to understand first, like, your body is the mode. Your consciousness never dies, I don't think. Like, when people say, oh, I, like, in a past life, like, when I die, maybe my consciousness has to go somewhere, and then does it go to a dog, does it go to a dolphin, does it go to another person? Like, who knows?
Yeah. And I feel like I've heard of like the hierarchy system that I've always thought about. It's like, okay, if you're a bad person in this life, you're going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a good person, you're going to go up. I don't know what's higher than humans, or maybe we'll talk about it a little on a deeper, like maybe humans is the lowest you could be.
Yeah.
Like, and then like the higher you go, the more like self-sufficient, like you could be probably above us is a dolphin.
Never get hunted. Yeah.
Right. Like a dolphin that'll never get bothered. And we're just like the little minions on the bottom. But yeah, and then like the lower you go, like you're an ant, your lifespan is like 2 weeks or something like that.
I don't know, did they have consciousnesses?
I don't know. I think everything has consciousness.
I think because they make decisions. They say, oh, looks like there's lots of food.
I'm gonna walk
here.
this way. Yeah.
I'm gonna dig a hole.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to think that nothing has a consciousness. And like, how are we to tell? Like, oh, we're moving, we're living, we're breathing, our heart's beating. Like, if you get too small, they're not going to have a consciousness. Like, I don't know. No, I don't think so.
I don't know. So I've been trying to use this to my advantage. And yes, like whether it's job shopping, whether it's just, I don't know, making good things happen. So then I'm trying to remind myself, which is like hard to like shift your mindset. I'm trying to remind myself during the day or when I'm thinking about something that I want or a change I want to happen, that my body, like, it's not like I'm waiting for them to call me and say, hi, something great has happened. Like, here, do you want this job? Do you want this opportunity? Do you want this? Do you want to go here? It's, you can make your little body, your little player, go do whatever it is, literally whatever it is you want to do, because your consciousness exists across different timelines. So like, I'm thinking like a square kind of. Okay, so think about this as my consciousness. It's flat and it goes across, like it's going across my yard, it's going across my house. And then under here is like little walls. And like right now, this is where I'm living, but I could live over here and I could be like a giant CEO and have a different, like be a millionaire, whatever the things I want to do. And it would still be under my consciousness. I just have to figure out how to get from here and just go boop, 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 and like shift over here. So like our consciousness is the big umbrella and you just have to shift where your body is. But we got to figure out.
I have a couple things to say on this. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll start with I'll do my story last when I was little. Well, no, that starts. Okay. I remember being a kid and walking like down Bud Lane. I know exactly where I was. I was by the Nathanson's house. They don't live there anymore, so I could say that. Okay. With Cooper. And I don't know, I was always like worried about getting in trouble. And I was probably like 6 or 7. And so I was like worried about getting in trouble because I was alone. And then I'm like, well, what if a cop comes up and says that I'm not allowed to be alone out here because I'm so little? And then I'm like, then my like brain answers myself and is like, no, but they're just a person too. So like, we're the same. Like we have the same amount of power. And then I remember that when I was that little, like having that idea and like kind of running with it. And so like I've literally sat in a room with well, okay, we'll go back to college. In college I was like, I don't want to be in college, I just want to like be an influencer. And so I told myself, I'm like, if I get 10,000 followers on Instagram, I will drop out. And boom, I got 10,000 followers. And so I think there's a goal. I think there's also just like a mindset of like, yeah, literally everybody starts out with like, of course there's Nepo babies and there's stuff like that, but like Nepo babies can crash and burn. Like I've seen it before. Like Nepo babies can spend all their money and become drug addicts on the street. Easy. Like obviously if they have a good brain on them, they're like they're positioned better to succeed. But it's like literally we're just all the same. So like if you just play your moves right, you're going to get where you want. And I do think that the manifestation is a little bit of like, it's like there's imposter syndrome where you think, oh crap, like I don't I'm not the real thing. Like, I'm not really a musician. I'm not really this. I'm not really that. And so I think that manifestation in like a more conceptual, like easily to conceptualize idea is that it just gives you a little more confidence. And so now that you have that confidence because you believe this is going to happen because I said it's going to happen, now you're making moves. Like you are, when you see something pop up, like you're scrolling on job searches because you manifested a higher paying job. So now you, in your real body, you're looking into what jobs are available and you see your dream job. You're like, oh, sick, that's a cool job. Let me learn a little bit more so I'm a little bit more qualified for this job. And then so you, it just sets you in motion to actually take the steps because anything is possible. And I've
Wait,
always
pause. Exactly what you just said. Think about that whole statement. I'm picturing I'm a kid with Keely playing Shrek, and I'm like, geez, I want to level up and I want to go to the next level. But before I'm allowed to go to the next level, I need to go collect all these corn stalks out of the field and like learn about the corn stalks. So then when I bring the corn stalks over to this like basket or whatever you had to throw them in, I'm ready. That's literally the same. Like my consciousness being like, okay, it's time to level up. You want a higher paying job. Let's make your little body, your little player has to go online. It has to research. It has to do this. It has to get all this stuff to then match where your consciousness is.
Right. And like for me, I'm like, okay, I want to be recording artist, musician. I want to make that happen. To make that happen, I need to first get a following. So I like make myself get a following. And like I need to release music for people to hear so somebody will be like, oh, I want to sign her. Like you're not going to sign me without music. Like, and I've done this once and I've sat in the rooms of Atlantic Records, but I'm like, that's a long story. But like it just shows you that really anything's possible. You just have to figure out what you want to do. And I think that's the hard part for a lot of people. So a lot of people don't have, I did look it up. Like a lot of people, I think only like 5% of people like are born or like grow up with like a passion. A lot of people are just like, yeah, I just want to live a good life and make money.
I think
like there's not a lot of people with like artists and stuff.
Like some people are born as like privileged and whatever, but I don't think a lot of people are thinking about, and it's funny that dreams kicked us off with this, but I don't think a lot of people are thinking about like, oh, like consciousness, like in the level that we are, and then just making things happen. Like you said, like I've always believed too, like anything, like literally anything that I've ever wanted, I've made happen. Who knows how? I don't know. Like my consciousness has said, okay, this is what we want. And I say, okay. And then we go do it, you know? So, but I don't think a lot of people think like that. But I think the whole point of like this whole idea of, I'm going to call it quantum leaping. I don't know if that's, I guess, shifting, timeline shifting. I think it's timeline shifting because timelines, like we said, are all in a line. So then like you're where you are, your consciousness, you become a rock star, you're Hannah Montana, your consciousness is the same. Right? It's the same thoughts. It's the same feeling, everything that you have now. You're going to be standing on the stage being like, geez, I want to drill this person's stupid brain out. Like you're going to be the same. Yes. It's just your body is in a different, like your little player gets shifted to a different situation. And that's it.
Yeah. It all makes sense. And it makes sense in like the whoop-de-doo way and then the normal way. It just makes me wonder like, why? Because when I was like 7 years old, a cop was the highest power. The cop was like nobody's touching a cop. Like cops was a celebrity. Cops like celebrities. I don't know, you know. And so for me being like, oh, like I could be a cop if I wanted to, but I don't want to be a cop. Like I feel like I don't know what that feels. That feels like somebody else put that into my brain, especially for a kid my age, and for it to stick with me this long. Like, it's very odd. But also, you see people around celebrities, and people are like, I don't, like, men in their football, and, like, kid, or, like, people with celebrities and stuff. Like, it grosses me out. I'm like, oh, that's literally just a person. Why are you so obsessed with them? Like, get a life. Like, people screaming at, like, watching football games. I'm like, it's literally just a game.
And I think
like why are you so entwined? Those are the people who aren't born with that mindset. I think
they're not thinking about thinking. And so I wanted to leave you with the idea of like, okay, so how because this whole thing came about because I'm like, okay, well, how does this apply to me? How can I practice this? Because it's such like an abstract idea. And so during my day, and this is so funny because this reminds me of what we talked about with lucid dreaming. You know how you said when you're lucid dreaming in your dream, someone will train themselves to always like touch a doorway. So when they walk through, they can know, okay, I'm lucid dreaming because I just walked through and I touched the doorway or whatever it is, or I didn't touch it, however that works.
You walk through, you touch it, and then every time you touch a doorway in your real life, you're like, am I lucid dreaming? And then you think yes or no. It makes you go into your consciousness, which relates to this. You're like, am I awake or am I dreaming? And then you walk through and you do that in real life, and you do that, then you'll start doing it as a habit in your dreams. And then that's how you get to lucid dream.
Your consciousness. That's how you can, because right now we're conscious because we're talking about this, we're thinking about this. But then when we go to sleep, I think you need to tap into your consciousness. And I think lucid dreaming is not some crazy magical thing. I think it's a real thing. And our consciousness is going somewhere else. So then thinking about it, how I've been applying this for this past week when I'm trying to wrap my brain around this is like in my everyday whatever, I've just been, instead of like obviously touching a doorway, I've been reminding myself, okay, I am the little player. My consciousness is bigger. What does my consciousness want? Like just reminding myself of like the kind of hierarchy and being like, okay, well, how can I use this to my advantage? Like my consciousness, what is my goal? What does my consciousness want right now? Like, what is it that I want? How can I make that happen in my actions, I guess? I don't know. I've been trying to like work through that to then move to the next level, which I can't even think about right now. So
no, and it's exactly that. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like you have to have in like just a real sense of it, you pick a goal, that's your goal, whether it's your mind picking, like it's your mind picking that goal, whether that's your body, your player, or your consciousness. And then once you pick a goal, you have to make steps to get to that goal. And I think it's just like, sometimes it's that simple, like it's hard to grasp, like, oh, this is my consciousness doing this. It's just a person that is like, I want to be a CEO. In order to be a CEO, I have to go through these steps and then I'll be a CEO. And it's like that simple. But like not a lot of people don't pick a goal and then they don't go through the steps to get to that goal.
Or
and I think manifestation, people just think it's like, especially California and like the surfer dudes, it's like, yeah, I'm just living life for the day. I'm floating through it, seeing what happens to me. And it's like, okay, if you're gonna just see what happens to you, nothing's gonna happen to you. But if you like make a plan and you set a goal, whether that's manifestation or if it's just planning your life, I think it's one and the same. Like manifestation does get a little bit like deeper with it, where you are using like tricking your brain into being like, what will I be wearing when this happens? But
or it's your consciousness priming your in-person body, being like, okay, this is what is going to happen because this is what I'm saying it's going to happen, and I make the decisions. So my consciousness makes the decisions. So then you're priming your little player to get there, right?
Yeah.
Also, what I've been thinking about, and this is the last thing I'll add because I'm curious if you can do this, and then when we record next, we could talk about it. So if your consciousness does, like, it exists across all planes, it exists, it's the same when you're sleeping, it's the same when you're awake. I sleep for like 50% of my day. So like 50% of my life is sleeping. How can you use your consciousness when you're sleeping to your advantage? So I've been going to work at Mall World, or sometimes I don't like really think, like, you know, like it's fun, whatever. Like is it not really benefiting, right? So like, is that the idea of lucid dreaming? Like if my consciousness exists, whether my body is awake or asleep, can I make myself, instead of going to work at, you know, at the stores at the mall, can I make my brain or my consciousness work towards my goals in like real life, right? Like, because that's 50% of your manifesting power, your power. Like, so how can you use sleep to your advantage?
Okay. Last thing I'll say, and it's really short. We both keep saying that. A lot of my song ideas, I'll be laying in bed, my phone's across the room. I'm like in the in-between. Like I'm not quite asleep yet. I'm not awake. And I will think my brain is just like in this point where I'll think of a melody and I'm like, shit, now I got to get up And, like, there's been times before where I'm like, I'll totally remember this. Like, it's really good. And I don't remember it. So every time I started waking up to record it, so I remember this melody in the morning, or I'll think of like a song, like random things I'll be thinking, and then I'll sing it into like a song in my head. And I'm like, okay, now I have a song. So like, I'm already doing that in the in between. Now I need to start doing that like in the actual, and like, can you imagine if I'm writing songs while I'm asleep?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm already sort of doing that. Like, I will wake up in the middle of the night and be like, wow, I have a song. And I'm like,
Yes.
whoa.
That's what I'm saying. Like, put your
Whoa.
consciousness, because your body has nothing to do with it. It's just a little player. It's going to sleep. But if your consciousness is existing, whether you're awake or asleep, like, you can use your consciousness while you're asleep to help you. Like, in your case, you're writing songs. I don't know about my case. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But
You're creating chatbots.
I'm creating chatbots.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing IT things. But anyway, something to think about. I'm going to try to apply it in my life this week, and then I will report back and see if I can even verbalize the next level, which is the creator. I don't know.
Yes. All right. Well, I think that's all we got today. If you guys enjoyed our podcast, please give it a big thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry for the appearance today. It's early for me. And yeah, it's spooky season still. We're carrying it on. Write us a comment what you think below. Send us an email at 17scootersclub@gmail.com, and find us on our socials at 17scootersclub. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening and all that fun stuff. Let us know what you think. We will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, fun is rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.